Hey guys, let's talk about four jobs. Now these are my opinions on four jobs that have a certain zeitgeist with them, to use a emotive term. I feel that they don't necessarily have zeitgeist about the entire world or the entire society maybe, but under a fractured society, I'm not sure any form of employment would necessarily have that. Certainly it's promoted in Hollywood, but do they necessarily represent the views of the entire world? I'm not so sure, and also I think it's that style of zeitgeist is a little bit fake, if you know what I mean. If you know anything about Hollywood, it certainly seems fake, to a degree. But we're not here to talk about Hollywood. We're here to talk about the four jobs, or four careers, though not all of them are permanent, that represent some sort of zeitgeist, at least within the sphere that they hold. Now, the first of these jobs would be teaching English in the Far East. Now, teaching English in the Far East can vary widely. Not every school is accommodating. Not every school is fully honest. But there are numerous ones that are. And I feel that if you get in the right scenario in teaching English in the Far East, particularly in the countries of Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, though to a lesser degree this would be true, and Hong Kong, though this would be true to a lesser degree in places like Thailand and the mainland of China, though once again you're dealing with a social situation that is a little more volatile in both of those places. In those countries that I listed, if you can get into the right organization, you can really be part of something. I don't know if that makes sense, but you're definitely on a track that is not just the run-of-the-mill, that you'll be part of the Rising Asia movement, but not necessarily one of the trapped workers within that movement. I don't know. It's just definitely a good place to work, make money, and then experience the culture, and do this in a way that is life-affirming, I guess you'd say. And more concretely, if you move to the Far East, in general, people will just fawn over you. Now, this isn't as true as it used to be, but if you're a Westerner and you are there permanently, you can certainly use your status advantageously in the society. Not necessarily take advantage of the society, but just advantageously. All right, that's the first job. The second job is being a temporary worker or a backpacker in Oceania. Not really the South Pacific states, but I'm more specifically referring to Australia and New Zealand. This is again a temporary position, but is intentionally set up to reward you for your experience. You certainly will not be on the top of the ladder, and working jobs like front desk in the youth hostel, various sorts of fruit picking, certainly not easy, especially when you look at the United States, though conditions are different in those countries. I know a lot of people would have a preconceived notion that if you picked from the United States, that if you picked fruit, you're really living a terrible life. But in Australia and New Zealand, it's set up so to be temporary, but so that you can have an experience, so that you can be part of something, so that you can be part of the zeitgeist, even if it is the limited zeitgeist that is within the transitory community that goes through the oceanic countries. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that would make this desirable. I mean, clearly living in a developed country two developed countries that have some of the highest standards of living in the westernized world would be advantageous. And I also feel that the job situation is different in Australia and New Zealand compared to the United States. I feel, compared to the United States and to Europe, I feel that there is a certain forced uniformity within Europe, within their job system, that is created by the society, the government. You know, pretty much by high school, you're supposed to be on a career path in Europe. Now, that's not true in the United States. You can definitely change your career in the United States, but I feel that the thing in the United States is that since everything is very money driven, even though there's this ideal of freedom, people are often in chains by the things that surround them. So yes, you can change your career, but are you willing to go into that much debt? Are you willing to really take the brutality of the change in order to eventually, at some point, make things for the better? I mean, that could be 20 years down the line by the time you adjust to everything and work your way up the career ladder and everything. So even though the United States isn't as structured as Europe, there's certainly a sort of backdoor structure that is forced into place by the monetary stratification of the society. All right, that's number two. Number three is playing poker. Now, this is certainly doesn't bring up positive connotations upon the first mention to the non-poker player. And if I'm going to be perfectly honest, relies upon others to source its income. A poker player has to rely upon fish or, you know, suckers, the dregs, people that think they're going to win instantaneously in order to be a successful community, and actually has decreased its earnability share quite a bit within the last 5 years. But if you can be a successful poker player, it really provides you a not just a freedom of job, but a freedom of time. Now, you will have to put in the time and effort in order to become that successful poker player, but it is within your own time and your own structure in order to learn, which is something that is not true of other jobs. You know, if you become a lawyer or doctor or any sort of thing, the emphasis on learning is at a set pace, and if you don't keep up that pace, you'll fall out. Now, the same is true in poker in the sense that you have to keep up with the modern trends, but it's not as if it's being the only thing that is being forced upon you is the bottom line, rather than any sort of boss or professor or anything like that. So if you can become successful, you'll be part of a zeitgeist just by your ability to be free. Which is sort of ironic considering you're taking money from other people, but you know, I feel that you can't really focus on that it really has to be about you being free, you know. Maybe it's hoarding, but it still focuses on your zeitgeist, your being free. All right, the final position that I would offer is actually not a job, but can be turned into a job career path, and that is the academic system within Europe. If you can get the right grants and right procedures in order to become a lifelong academic within Europe. I really feel you get exposed to something that is life-affirming and will be part of the greater society. Now, I mentioned earlier that Europe is very structured, and that's true, but academics by its very nature is mind expanding, is expand your horizons. So even though you will be within a set system by the academics, by having to produce papers, the goal will always be expansion and never just complacency within a job or, within a set career path, things like that. There may be a set career path in teaching, but you will certainly get to explore your own interests within that field. Now, this can also be true in the United States, but I feel in the United States, well, I should say in Europe, this is best in the arts because that will allow you the greatest amount of expansion, will allow you the greatest freedom in studying different things. For example, if you study art, you can study numerous types of art, whereas in the hard sciences, there's certainly, I would say, more freedom and more expansion available than if you were to just work like a 9-to-5 blue-collar job. But there is, an expected goal, something you are working towards. And I would say that an academic career or a lifelong student in the arts in the United States is also a possibility, but I would say that the difference is that the arts and what the arts can provide on an academic level is integrated into the society of Europe much more. In the United States, it's respected. There's money for it, but you'll always be viewed as something separate. You may know about all these artists, and I keep using art, but I should really expand it into like the creative arts medium. Master of Arts, Doctor of Arts. So that can include things like mass media or even anthropology, geography, things like that. So in the United States, you can study those things and there will be money available for it, but you'll always be viewed as outside of the society, as something that the everyman couldn't relate to. Now, you may have more inherent knowledge through your studies than the average European will, but they'll inherently understand, and this is a broad generalization, of course, that what you're studying is part of their society instead of something that is just an academic ivory tower kind of thing that is separate from the society. Well, anyway, that's my opinion on the 4 careers that provide a zeitgeist within the community, or within the larger world. I don't know how to put it exactly. I'm kind of at a loss for words. But the 4 of them are teaching English in the Far East, backpacking in New Zealand and Australia with the intent of working temporary jobs. The third is professional poker player because of the freedoms it allows. Even though you have to, well, I went through all of that, but essentially the freedom of time and freedom from oppression in a job that it allows. And fourthly, an academic in Europe, which allows you to be part of the society, really allows you to feel that you're part of a movement. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. That's all I really had to say, and I'll see you in the future.